in limbo. And anti-Nigerian protest in Ghana sparks a strong reaction. Hello there, good evening, and thank you for joining us on the news desk of NTA Channel 5 Abuja at 7. I am Tessie Omeri, and we begin with the health sector. Patients seeking medicals in federal health institutions across Nigeria may face significant disruption due to a nationwide warning strike declared by the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives. The strike action, which commenced midnight July 29th, is expected to bring healthcare services to a halt, with nurses' stations likely to remain empty. Kama brings us an update.
The 7-day warning strike was announced by the union's federal healthcare institutions sector after what is described as the federal government's persistent silence on key welfare demands. The decision followed an emergency executive council meeting earlier in the month at the National Hospital, Abuja, and comes just 2 weeks after a 15-day ultimatum expired without action. In a circular signed by the National Secretary, Anya Agatha Osinachi, nurses say there will be no skeletal services and the strike will affect all federal health institutions across Nigeria.
There were not much nurses at the hospital, but I think they're on strike. Yeah, so there were not really much.
The nurses are on strike, but the doctors and other liable hands are able to attend to us.
They are an essential part of the healthcare team. Healthcare delivery is a teamwork, so every single profession has its own specific roles that they play. So when they are not on ground, the healthcare delivery will not be optimal. So whether the strike is effective or not, or patients are still accessing care or not, does not really matter. The optimal performance of the healthcare system cannot stand if any part or segment of the healthcare team is missing.
As the countdown begins, many are worried about the implications for healthcare delivery. The nurses say they are not backing down until meaningful dialogue begins. Kama, NTA News.
While in a bid to avert a looming industrial action in the health sector, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Muhammad Megari Dinyadi, has called on the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives to suspend their planned strike and return to the negotiation table. The minister, who met with representatives of the association on Tuesday, emphasized that industrial action is not the best approach to resolving disputes, especially within the healthcare sector. He assured the nurses and midwives that the government is actively working to address their concerns and urged continued engagement through peaceful dialogue. Away from the health sector, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu wants parents to teach their children the importance of kindness and compassion, noting that through friendship, a united and more peaceful world can be built. This is in her statement marking this year's International Day of Friendship. The day, she says, is a reminder of the bonds that unite people across cultures, religions, traditions, borders, and backgrounds, while noting that we live in a world often divided by conflicts and misunderstandings. The First Lady urges Nigerians to embrace empathy, celebrate diversity, and promote harmony in various communities. The Senate Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations, NGOs, has strongly condemned the recent anti-Nigerian protests in Ghana, describing it as deeply disturbing and contrary to the spirit of African brotherhood. According to the committee, the protest, which was captured in a viral video on social media, was unacceptable and threatened the long-standing bond between the two nations. In a statement on Tuesday, the committee called on both Nigeria and Ghana to maintain their friendship, mutual respect, and regional cooperation. The two countries must keep the flame of brotherhood alive, reaffirming that Nigeria and Ghana, as key members of ECOWAS, should be at the forefront of promoting peace, unity, and regional integration as enshrined in the ECOWAS Charter. The committee commended the swift intervention of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission NIDCOM chairman, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, and the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, for their diplomatic handling of the situation. The Senate committee reassured Nigerians living in Ghana that the authorities of both nations are working together to protect their rights and welfare. The committee also urged Nigerians in Ghana to remain law-abiding and peaceful. Pastor Femi Lanre-Oke has been recognized for his outstanding humanitarian contributions through his activities. The Project Blessing Nigeria initiative, in appreciation of his selfless service to humanity, rewarded him with an award. Yours truly reports that the award ceremony acknowledges excellence across both public and private sectors. The Project Blessing Nigeria National Christian Leadership Awards, held every 8 years, recognizes Christians in public and private organizations who have made significant contributions to humanity. This year's recipients include Pastor Femi Lanre-Oke, who was honored for his outstanding humanitarian service. According to him, the recognition will inspire him to even do more.
We are to keep doing what we think we do privately or secretly is seen by people we don't even know. So it tells us that there is nothing hidden, not just before God, even before men. So we're to do more and make more impact, not for recognition of men, but the applaud of God himself.
Other notable awardees include Deaconess Victoria Bolale, a former Wawikan chairperson and retired NTA director, Obiageli Onoha, among others. They expressed gratitude, stating that the recognition will motivate them to continue making a positive impact.
This award is actually dedicated to Wawikan, my family as well. I received support during my tenure as the national chairperson of Women Wing of Christian Association of Nigeria. The executive then cooperated with me.
The Nigerian Christian Leadership Awards seems to be the only platform where we can come together, as Christians, celebrate one another, and birds flock together.
Notably, the awardees come from diverse backgrounds, including artisans, professionals, and public servants.
I'm so happy, I'm so elated because she's been doing her work as a civil servant, as a grassroots mobilizer, and as God will have it, she became the first female head of service from FCT. She has said that this award should be dedicated to the entire workforce of FCT, and most importantly, the minister, for identifying her as a woman to give her this opportunity to serve as a...
The organizers believe this diversity will promote productivity and encourage others to make a difference. Tessie Omeri. Let's take a look at the environment. As Nigeria continues to grapple with the impact of climate change, the Federal Capital Territory is not left out, with some communities bearing the brunt of seasonal flooding. Lokogoma, a rapidly expanding residential hub in Abuja, has emerged as one of the hardest hit areas. Residents say the fear of flood has now become a frightening routine. Our correspondent, Kama Kama, visited the area and now reports.
Behind me is one of the major water channels here in Lokogoma, an area increasingly under threat each rainy season. With each downpour, residents say the fear of flooding is not just a probability, but a yearly nightmare. Lokogoma in Abuja's FCT is known for its clusters of estates and buildings and a growing population. However, poor land allocation, especially on natural waterways, has made this area one of the most flood-prone zones, as identified by meteorological predictions. The largely residential district sees recurring flooding annually, and just last week, a commercial motorcyclist was swept away by a heavy flow of water from Lukogoma towards the Trademore estate as is in Lugbe. Such incidents raise concern over the inadequate drainage infrastructure.
Whenever rain dey fall like this, it's either the rain go collect one machine go or e go collect one person life go, and the thing no really help us at all.
People have been here for over 12 years paying facility fees. Not one single maintenance has been done. Now the residents are crying out loud. They are human beings. The condition of living is bad. We want the government, the federal government, the FCT minister to please help us in the FAB estate. The residents association wants to manage the estates. They want to repair their roads themselves instead of giving it to a facility manager that will take their money, and at the end of the day nothing will be seen.
As you can see, we are standing by one of the bridges here. It's almost impassable as we speak. If you go down a little bit by my right, the second bridge there, you can't even pass that one. It's completely gone. And all the monies we pay, there is no accountability.
Every rainy season, we hear bad news of people losing their life whenever it rains heavily. And you know, this is Lokogoma.
As the rainy season deepens, residents of Lokogoma say they are left at the mercy of nature. Kama Kama, NTA News.
Join our sports desk for Sports Brief.
Nigeria's The Tigress secured their spot in the last 8 of the 2025 Women's Afro Basket Championship after a 60-55 win over Mozambique. They will face winner of the Cameroon-Angola match on July 31st. This marks their second win of the tournament, having opened their campaign with an emphatic 92-45 triumph over Rwanda on Saturday. Meanwhile, the draw for the Wafu B Women's Championship League qualifiers has been rescheduled to August 5th. Bayelsa Queens will discover their opponents for the competition, which kicks off 4 days later. The team is looking to make a strong impression in the tournament after winning the Nigerian Women's Football League last season. In other news, Inter Milan has submitted a fresh bid for Super Eagles forward Ademola Lookman, edging closer to a potential transfer. The club's president, Giuseppe Marotta, expressed optimism about reaching a deal with Atlanta, valuing the player at 50 million euros. Inter's initial 40 million euros bid was rejected, but they returned with an improved proposal. Finally, former Nigerian under-20 winger Nnamdi Oforbo has returned to a competitive football after a year-long battle with a heart condition. He recently signed for the English League Two side Burnett and expressed his excitement about being back to the pitch, saying he's ready to do whatever it takes to help his team succeed. With Sports Brief, Wayne Dugu, NTA News.
And that concludes the English version of the news. Stay with us for the translation in other languages, and do have a beautiful evening. Good night.
Bayaje shaje wa wannan ya zakwai bada ya bi ba ku sha badai yiwa na ba shi ba badai wa mu president ba yiwa wani wace ana ba ge ko gayi ana ba ge asu dai in anya sai pe ina a gwamnati anya sa a shi ba shi ba ye pato bawo abin dagma ntuge ba anya sa shi ba shi bado ba ayo kai mba ne fi ba a ci bala ya ange mutayen munagi na tutulo na suko ina gife ashe ina yayi kama wada inge ayasai bodo mba guri afilo bugbawu untuge abo to dagmalo untuge ba chifi bodo ba yasayo kai banga ga bata bai shi tutun tuke abo kuba kuna gwamnati ta ubaren ya agwado aga nge ba ku ba fo nuwa na bai ba share gwamnati laptala kwaje abo ko ba shi na ba shi latin shi ba a yasa shi ba shi ba ga ga baye ba wu ba wunu chana shi ba ku kala shi ba ga nge be na shi ba yi da dabalo minista akiye inya nge atutun shi inya Mohammed mai gari da gadi wala anyasa a shigba shi yi mbage kala nge baku buba shi nuwa ba kuma nge manayi mutayen sheba na technology ba be asase ashi nubo ashi ababa ashabare abana bashi minista wa gudu nge gwamnati kula fita manai labwashi ashi abu ba buciye shigbe awu ba ya wa gudu wai kuba dada ba san na gbai bedo ba san na gbai bedo gugwan ba nge ata wa ogu an hapu na gidna hapu mufudna ba kapunu abaga ba takbe alaba yiga ba jeselo ba tinde ba bakma mutaye munaji shabaye baga bata be shi tutu baka ayasarion tuge ata abata sasa ndagma ikiyo kwen ayiki a galuko bagbatu kai ye ashikpeje da abjeida na yiba nasaraga asanete gbadagwi aki aje atete ba baku babuba wu pepe ontu she eyi akida fi Ghana ji aisugu mbai fi Ghana ki azanagbai je honorable abike tabiri erewa bado bianca ojukwi baku badadada ngachia nge eyeki bado Ghana ki bashi anugudonu koto golo aji aisugu na je gwamnati ye la bokutu nge aki gbadagun nge ECOWAS mbala lefi bade ko ina ba asha ba Ghana ki bado ye ki saula mo yishi anugudo yishi ba gisu na je tichonu ogu baga ga ala ko shi gwamnati lapta manala kwa shabe shibe ama gbaje anabaje kuzo ibeji adowo nsu shekwasi yi page shekwali jesu size
Igbo bụ Igbo ekele m unu nọ na akụkọ ụwa na nkenke n'uhuruchi taa ọkọ akụkọ bụ Maazị Okwi Francis Ide na ndị ọrịa n'ala anyị ga-enwe ọgbata uhie n'ihi abụba ọrụ ndị otu jikọtara ndị nọọsụ ya bụ ndị na-agba ọgwụ gbara ugbu a n'ala anyị gbaa gburugburu. Onye nta akụkọ anyị wetara anyị akụkọ abụ kama mere ka amata na ya bụ abụba ọrụ malitere n'ime nderi abalị ụnyaahụ. O kwukwara na abụba ọrụ a ga-eme ka ọrụ niile ahụ ndị nọọsụ ahụ na-enye ndị ọrịa kwụsị n'ike, bụkwara nke o kwuru ga-emegide ọtụtụ ndị nwere ihe mgbu dị iche iche n'ala anyị gbaa gburugburu. Na mbọ ọ na-agba igbochi ezigbo nsogbu ga-adapụta na ngalaba ọrụ ahụike n'ala anyị, minista na-ahụ maka ahụike n'ala anyị bụ Mohammed Megere Dingadi akpọkuola otu jikọtara ndị nọọsụ niile n'ala anyị ka ha kwụsị ya bụ abụba ọrụ ha malitere ugbu a ma nye ohere ka e nwee mkpakọrịta ụka a ga-eji wee dozie ya bụ nsogbu dapụtara maọbụ nke na-echere ha aka mgba n'ihu ugbu a n'ọrụ ha. Ya bụ minista nwere mkpakọrịta ụka ya na ndị isi otu a ebe ọ kọwara ha na abụba ọrụ abụghị ọkacha mma iji wee dozie nghọtahie dị karịa ịkpakọrịta nkata ma chọọ ezigbo ụzọ karịsịara mma a ga-eji wee dozie ya bụ okwu. Kọmitii ndị omeiwu ala anyị maka ụmụ amaala anyị bi na mba ọzọ nakwa otu ndị nọrọ onwe ha nwa bekee kpọrọ NGO agbarụọla ihu maka ngagharị iwe ụmụ amaala anyị bi na mba Ghana mere megide ala anyị bụ Naịjirịa ma kwuo na nke a megidere obi nwanne dị n'etiti mba Ghana na ala anyị. Ha kọwara na Naịjirịa na mba Ghana bụ otu nọ na ECOWAS bụ ndị bụ ụzọ ime ka e nwee ezi mmekọrịta mba na mba, wee kọwaa na ọ bụ ihe ọjọọ jọgburu onwe ya na ha na-anabata ụdị ha ma kwuo ka ọzọ emezina gbasara ya bụ mmekọrịta ala anyị na mba Ghana. Kọmitii a tụkwara onye isi ụlọ ọrụ na-ahụ maka ụmụ amaala anyị bi na mba ọzọ bụ Honorable Abike Dambiri Erewa nakwa minista nta na-ahụ maka mmekọrịta ala anyị na mba ofesi bụ Ambassadọ Biaka Ojukwu maka etu ha siri were gbaa mbọ hụ na emeziri nsogbu a ngwa ngwa na-etufughị oge ọbụla. Igbo bụ Igbo taa ka anyị chịkọtara akọwatara ya unu ugbu a. Ọ ga-adịkwa n'echi mgbe anyị ga-akọrọ unu akụkọ ụwa na nkenke ọzọ. Ndewo.
Ìròyìn ló ń dé sí etí gbọ̀nyí láti iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìkànnì karùn-ún l'Àbújá. Ọláyínká Adéníjì ni oníròyìn yìí. Gbogbo àwọn aláìsàn tó wà ní ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lè ṣàìní ìtọ́jú tó péye gbà látàrí ìyanṣẹ́lódì àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ elétò ìlera. Ìyanṣẹ́lódì yìí bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ọ̀gànjọ́ òru ọjọ́ 29 oṣù tá a wà yìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣojúkọ̀ròyìn wa Kámákàmá ṣe jábọ̀, tó sì fi kún wípé ìyanṣẹ́lódì yìí yóò mú kí ìdáṣẹ́dúró bá gbogbo àwọn elétò ìlera jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè yìí láì fi ọwọ́ kan iṣẹ́ rárá àbí tọ́jú àwọn aláìsàn láìsí àní-àní. Àwọn ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣojú-ṣòfin àgbà pẹ̀lú pọ̀ mọ́ àwọn iléeṣẹ́ aládàáni àti àwọn tí ọ̀rọ̀ náà kàn gbọ̀ngbọ̀ngbọ̀n ti bu ẹnu àtẹ́ sí aáwọ̀ tó wà láàrin orílẹ̀-èdè Ghana àti Nàìjíríà wípé kì í ṣe ohun tó bójúmu rárá. Wọ́n rọ̀ wọ́n wípé níṣe ni ó yẹ kí wọ́n jọ máa gbé ní ìrẹ́pọ̀ bó ti wù kó rí. Aṣojú-ṣòfin Àbíkẹ́ Dábírí Ẹrẹ́wà tó jẹ́ alága ètò fún ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn tó wà lẹ́yìn odi pẹ̀lú igbákejì mínísítà fún ilẹ̀ òkèèrè ìyẹn Bianca Ojukwu jùmọ̀ pẹnupọ̀ wípé ọ̀rẹ́ ló yẹ ká máa ṣe o, ìjà ò sunwọ̀n, àti wípé láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà ọ̀rọ̀ tùbíìnùbí yóò wáyé ní èyí tí yóò mú kí aáwọ̀ náà ó di àfìsẹ́yìn téégún fiṣọ̀. Nínú akitiyan tirẹ̀ láti rí i dájú wípé ìyanṣẹ́lódì tí àwọn elétò ìlera yìí gùn lé fún ọjọ́ 7 yìí, mínísítà fún ètò iṣẹ́ ṣíṣe ìyẹn Mohammed Megari Dingyadi ti pàrọwà tó sì ti ké pe àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ elétò ìlera ọ̀hún láti dákun dábọ̀ fi èdénú nítorí wípé tá a bá ní ká họra ká wo dídùn ìfọ̀n, olúwa rẹ̀ yóò máa họra dé egun ni. Látàrí èyí kí wọ́n dákun dábọ̀ dá ìyanṣẹ́lódì náà dúró. Ó fi kún nínú ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ wípé láì fọ̀tápè ìjọba àpapọ̀ yóò wá wọ̀rọ̀kọ̀ fi ṣàdá lórí ọ̀rọ̀ náà bó ti wù kó rí. Ó wá ṣèlérí wípé gbogbo ẹ̀dùn ọkàn wọn pátá ní ìjọba àpapọ̀ yóò rí dájú wípé dídùn báyìí ni ọsàn yóò so. Torí ọ̀hún kò ní ju báyìí lọ. Ìmú lónìí kọ́pọ̀ àgbọ̀nsà ẹ̀ lónìí họ́wùhọ́wù. Èmi ìrẹ́lájọ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà yìí o, ẹ jẹ́ aṣẹ́kó dára ọ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan láòjí o, kásùn láyọ̀.